Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Courtney. Today I'm going to be reviewing and ranting about the Makeup Geek Flawlessly Ever After palette in the shade Porcelain Princess. Now, I don't seem to be on Makeup Geek's PR list anymore. I'm not really sure why that is. I've been reviewing Makeup Geek for years. I will continue to buy them and review them even if I'm not on their PR list, so don't worry about that. I bought this palette during my Black Friday, Cyber Monday hauling. I bought a lot of stuff, so if you're curious, I'll put a link and you can click on it over here to go see everything I hauled. But this is one of the products that I bought. No, it wasn't on sale, but I really wanted to buy this for travel because I really love the Makeup Geek highlighter formula. Now, you need to know that if you are new to this channel, because you probably won't, that the Makeup Geek highlighters are my holy grail formula. Makeup Geek released 3 porcelain skin highlighters. That means highlighters that are for pale skin like mine. The first one is Makeup Geek Celestial, the second is Makeup Geek Moon Phased, and the third is Makeup Geek Glitz. And I actually just swatched all of those on my hand for you, so let me show them to you. This is Makeup Geek Celestial. It's like this white with like an icy violet shift. This is Makeup Geek Moon Phase. It's the one I'm wearing today. It's kind of like a white base with an icy blue shift. And this is Makeup Geek Glitz, which is like a icy pink. I wear Makeup Geek Celestial almost every single day. I've put quite a dent in my pan, as you can see, because I've hit pan. I really, truly love this. This is my holy grail highlighter. So, and actually, because I love this so much, it stopped me from buying other highlighters because I feel like I just won't use them because I always reach for this. Whenever I wear anything other than a Makeup Geek highlighter, I'm usually disappointed because I don't feel like anything else looks as good on my skin. So that is why when I saw these palettes and I didn't receive them as PR, I was like, well, I have to buy the one for porcelain skin because they're my favorite highlighters. I will probably love this palette. I was a little nervous about buying this because there are no swatches on the Makeup Geek website for this palette. So I was like, well, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I mean, it says it's for porcelain skin, just like the other 3 highlighters that I have. So it should be perfect for me if it's made in the same way as the other 3 highlighters. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can look at the palette. Gleam, Tryst, First Crush, Sweetheart. All right, so my first mistake with this palette was assuming that just because Makeup Geek's porcelain highlighters are perfect for me, that the highlighter in this palette would also be perfect for me. Because unfortunately for me, this is not a white-based gold. I thought that this would, because this was a porcelain palette, that in my other 3 shades are white-based highlighters, that this highlighter would also be white-based. I thought that basically this would be like a cruelty-free version of the NARS Albatross highlighter, which is very popular. I was like, oh, that's a brilliant idea on the part of Makeup Geek. Make a cruelty-free dupe for the NARS Albatross. People really want that. That's awesome. If you watched my most recent Get Ready With Me, however, you will see me put on this highlighter and know that I pretty much hated it. Let me show you why. So this is the color Gleam, which is the highlighter in that palette, the Makeup Geek Flawlessly Ever After Porcelain Skin Palette, Porcelain Princess Palette. And it is not a white-based gold. It does not look flattering on my skin tone. It's too dark for my skin tone and too yellow. This is NARS Albatross. It is a white-based gold. It's a much better look for my skin tone. So I'm deeply disappointed in the fact that the Makeup Geek highlighter is too dark for my pale skin. That was part of why I bought this palette. Let me show you the other swatches from this palette. The blushes are great. The pink shade here is First Crush, and the peach shade here is Sweetheart. Yeah, Sweetheart. So the blushes are great. The contour color is called Tryst. I'm not really that happy with it because it's a little warmer than I prefer for my skin tone. I like a true contour which is more neutral or neutral cool because that mimics a shadow. I don't really know why Makeup Geek chose to make this more of a warm toned contour rather than a cool tone, which I feel would look better. So, like I mentioned, I bought this palette for travel. I wanted a cheek palette that I could just take with me and not have to worry about packing everything individually. While Makeup Geek blushes are not my favorite blushes, these 2 colors I think do work really well on pale skin, so they're really easy and they'll go with anything because you can wear pink or peach, and that pretty much covers everything you need to wear if you're traveling and want to like keep everything simple. The contour shade, it's okay. I don't think it's the most flattering shade on me, but for me, the highlighter is pretty much unwearable. So I feel like I'm stuck with a palette where I can only wear the blushes and I really won't wear the top 2 colors. And for the $38 price tag, I kind of feel like that's unacceptable. So Part of why I wanted to make this video was so that if you are somebody like me and you have pale skin like mine and you were expecting this palette to work perfectly with your porcelain skin, I don't think it's going to work, or at least not if you look like me. I don't think it's going to work because I don't feel like it works for me. So I want to talk a little bit about Makeup Geek in general. So I personally, as you know, I love their highlighters. I love their eyeshadows. When I travel with Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I always have Sugar Rush, which is this color right here. And I have this color right here, which is Kaleidoscope and Sorcery. And the gray colors, I always have these colors with me. Like some of this stuff will change, but I almost always have like those couple like duochrome colors and gray colors with me because I think those colors are flattering on me. Now, one of the things that I have never understood is why Makeup Geek decided to make those pressed duochrome shades a limited run, because they were very popular. Tons and tons of people wanted those colors. I have people who email me to ask me to this day, why aren't those colors on Makeup Geek's website? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm sorry. I tell them that, you know, for at least for Kaleidoscope or Sugar Rush, you can buy the loose eyeshadows and press them yourselves, but a lot of people don't want to fuck around with that and do it. So I feel like that's a missed opportunity for Makeup Geek. Also, I realized that whenever I was making my most recent Get Ready With Me and went back to go look up some stuff on Makeup Geek's website, they seem to have just randomly discontinued a bunch of colors, and I don't remember getting an email saying, hey, we're going to get rid of these colors. So I feel like they're just randomly discontinuing products like Blacklight. Blacklight is gone, and I don't really understand why. So while I love their highlighters and I love their eyeshadows, I am not really crazy about most of their lip products. I thought the lip plushes were okay, but the shade range was a little weird. I felt like the colors that I saw on their website didn't really match up with the colors that I ended up with. I didn't really like their other lip products. I mean, the lipsticks, like the traditional bullet lipsticks were okay, but not really exciting for me. I didn't really reach for them, and I prefer my Urban Decay Vice lipsticks instead. I didn't like the other lipsticks that were in like the really, really cool packaging, the one that looked like Marc Jacobs packaging. I was like, oh, that's awesome packaging, but I didn't really like the product. I still prefer their original blush formula to the revamped blush formula, but I think that's just because I liked the shades better. I didn't feel like the colors that came out with their revamped blushes were as nice as the originals. So yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm like meandering, but basically, I don't know. I think I feel like Makeup Geek is just kind of floundering right now. I don't know why. I know that, you know, the owner Marlena has stuff going on in her personal life. She's going through a divorce, and I'm, you know, very sorry to hear that. That really sucks. I know that must be very, very hard. But I don't know what's going on with the company, and I don't feel like they've done a lot of really solid releases. I mean, as I mentioned, I really love their duochrome eyeshadows. I like their pressed mattes, but I don't think that they've done any singles in a while. I feel like it's been quite a while since they've released any single eyeshadows. The last palette they came out with was the In the Nudes palette, and I feel like it was just really late to the nudes game. I mean, everybody and their brother has a neutral palette like that, and I don't really see what made it stand out. Even though there were two colors in there that I really liked. I really, really liked So Pale, and I really liked Buffed. Those were both great colors for my skin tone. I felt like because the palette was pretty much half re-promotes, that if you were a diehard Makeup Geek fan like me, you wouldn't really have incentive to buy it because you already own most of those colors. So, and plus the price point was pretty high. So while I thought it was a good palette, it's a solid palette for newbies, I didn't really see it as something that if you're a diehard fan, you were going to want to buy. I really liked the Manny MUA palette, but of course they discontinued that, and I thought that was like a really interesting neutral palette because you had like the pretty reds, you had the duochrome Insomnia, which I did see that they finally came out with Insomnia as a single pressed eyeshadow, which is great, but they didn't release Mars, and a lot of people were asking them to release Mars, which is a true red. The closest they have in their permanent lineup is Cherry Cola, which is like a reddish brown. It's a great color, but it's not a true red. And I know for a long time they were talking about coming out with foundations and concealers, which had me really excited because I do feel like Marlena understands makeup, and you know, I really enjoyed her videos. I used to hang out in her forums when her forums existed, so she's somebody that I find very relatable for me personally. So I was excited when she was talking about doing foundation and stuff, but it's never gone anywhere. It's never happened. And after the crap with this, you know, Porcelain Princess palette, I don't feel like they would even make a shade that would work for me because, you know, half the colors in this palette are too dark. But, you know, whenever they release their original highlighters, those worked for me. So I don't know what's going on with Makeup Geek. It makes me really sad, and I'm a little frustrated. I really want to see them succeed and do well, but they feel very directionless. All right, so yeah, sorry. I needed to get that off my chest. So anyway, if you're thinking about picking up the Makeup Geek Flawlessly Ever After Porcelain palette, just be aware that the highlighter shade is not going to look like a highlighter if your skin tone is the same as mine, if you wear the same foundations I do. I don't think you're going to like the highlighter. You probably won't like the contour color. You'll probably love the blushes. So you're probably going to like 50% of the palette, hate 50% of the palette. So at that point, I don't really recommend it unless you just absolutely have to have it to complete your collection. As it is, I don't know, I'm deeply disappointed with it. So anyway, what do you think of the Makeup Geek Flawlessly Ever After Porcelain Princess palette? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it something you would wear? What do you think's going on with Makeup Geek? What do you want to see them come out with? I am dying to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and found it fun and entertaining, please give it a thumbs up and share. It really helps me out when you share my videos, and I greatly appreciate it, so thank you very much. And if you haven't already, you should consider clicking that little subscribe button down below so you never miss one of my videos. Thank you so much for watching.